What do you want me to?
We are live, ladies. We are live, Debi and Maude.
Kia
Kia
ora.
ora, everyone.
Kia ora.
My name is Ivor Jones. Welcome to kōrero Ī Ōpōtiki. It's a bit of a gossip session where Maude and I and Debi, we get together along with Louis, and we have a kōrero about some of the issues that might be affecting the Opotiki area. And for tonight, for our 30 minutes for tonight, we've got those three topics there: Cyclone Gabrielle, a petition to keep our health services free, and community safety walking the streets of Opotiki. So those were our three sort of topics that we picked up on for this evening. But just before we begin, Heavenly Father, bless us, God, to show us the way in the work we do today. In the holy name, Amen. I'd like to welcome Debi. Hello, Debi.
Kia ora. Hello. Opotiki.
Kia ora,
Maude.
Kia ora, Maude.
Kia ora.
And who is that beside you?
Oh, that was my grandson. Getting ready for bed.
Getting ready for bed. Cool. Hey, so the first topic that we had up was Cyclone Gabrielle, and my go-to site for news is Radio New Zealand. I have a look at Radio NZ Herald and stuff and all of that. The stuff that just ends up there just boggles my mind. But
Yeah.
Radio New Zealand is really a good place to go to. And Chris Kins gave a date on Gabrielle and what's happening there. But what's interesting at the moment is the thunderstorms that are heading our way. And you can hear them rumbling up over across the rimutakas. But I was really surprised at how it didn't affect us here in Opotiki. And I'm really, we keep in our thoughts the people who are in Gisborne and all over the Aotearoa who are affected. But I was surprised at really how it went sort of around us and carried on down the road. What do you think, ladies?
Oh, we're incredibly lucky. And I just feel so devastated for some of those towns like Wairoa, Gisborne, Hastings. They've got a huge clean-up job.
And your whānau, not divulging too much personal information, but your whānau are safe and
Yes,
just fantastic.
Yeah, my whānau is safe, and my daughter-in-law's mother in Wairoa is safe. But she said the devastation is just terrible, absolutely terrible.
Yeah. Do you want anything to add, Maude?
Oh, I think just in preparation for the cyclone, it was really good to see Opotiki come together. I'm really proud of the iwi, Opotiki District Council, and our local, our community, coming together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very lucky to not get hit hard, but like everything else, we usually have this, the end tail of everything because of the way that we're situated. Our east coast are not so fortunate, so they've been hit twice already. But there's more to come, I'm sure, but because of the climate change. Yeah.
All right, Debi, you thought that there was a petition going around on Facebook somewhere to keep our health services free. Is that right?
I did see that, yes, but I don't know anything about it. I'm hoping Maude might be able to give me some more information. Nothing.
I don't know anything about it. Is there a petition out for free health, did you say?
Yeah, to keep our health services free. So I mean, they are free at the moment, and I haven't heard any talk about people being charged.
I'm not aware. I am aware of a few, like I mentioned in a chat to you, the comments I made around some of the families that are finding it really hard to get into their GPs, just the local GPs. They're having to wait at least a week. Even when it's urgent.
We are experiencing
the health system. It's not good at the moment. From a whānau perspective,
Yeah.
I know that the work that our health professionals are doing, the frontline people are doing an amazing job. I know there's a lack of we want more nurses, but that's like any industry. We're wanting more carpenters, we're wanting more plumbers, we're needing a whole lot of people, and this is why I guess government has given those opportunities for our young ones to come through and become an apprentice, making it a lot more easier and a lot less costly. But it's still really hard for our people to go into an apprentice when they've got to go onto a student allowance, or there's if it's not paid apprenticeship. So it's really hard for anyone.
And there's also the issue that they have to travel to get to the training, and it may be out of town, or it may be from the coast into Opotiki, but there's still quite a lot of travel involved for them, which is another cost. Yeah.
What's not on the agenda, and it's just I just had a thought in a moment, is that there's been some comments made around the mussel factory, like how a lot of families are coming through and saying that it's really hard working in there. They're not getting those breaks that they need, or the shift work is really hard. I don't have insight into that. I don't have facts into that, but I have people that have been dropping comments that work in that industry. They're finding it really hard, and it's not a place that they recommend to go working, to go working for. And that's really sad, because the idea of having the mussel factory was to get our people into employment, but at the same time you have to follow employment law too, and you have to just be really kind, because there's not many people in Opotiki that you can employ. And to keep that factory working, we used to say little people, they are the foundation of any business, because you need them to do the work. So if anyone's listening out there and they're leaders in the mussel farm, please have a rethink and a relook at the way that you're treating our people within the mussel farm industry, whakatō here. And it's dear to my heart, because Chris is my husband's father-in-law, he was the chairman at the time, and he's one of them that had started off that kaupapa for the mussel farming.
And that's disappointing to hear, because it did start off so well, and everyone seemed to be working really well in there, and they got lunches made. And that's disappointing to hear that maybe that's not working so well now, for whatever the reasons are.
And Maude, I saw there was some discussion about communities walking the streets of Opotiki, and there were some reflections about how back in the day it could walk the streets, no problem. But nowadays there appear to be some problems. So could you talk about those issues?
I think it was Deborah, you raised it the other day going uptown. You might have caught
the tail end of an incident. Yes.
Yeah, and I think I was behind you, but I'd seen, if you want to talk about it a little bit, then I can add on to that. Be good.
So I was going to Te Tahu or Te Rangi for a meeting, and there were about 8 cars ahead of me, and there was one car outside the library facing the wrong way, and I couldn't really see what was happening. But when the cars started, and we were at a standstill, and when they started moving again, there was a big group of young people just moving off the road. So I didn't really know what happened, but when I went to go into Te Tahu, the door was locked. So there had obviously been an incident, and it just seems a shame. And that conversation I had with you, Maude, that we need to be doing something. And I know that violence and aggression and anger and all that stuff are worldwide, but we don't have to have it in a little community where we're small enough to be able to deal with it ourselves. We can change people's attitudes. I'm sure we can.
I think we've got we're very lucky to be a small community, because we're a lot more intimate with each other. We know just about everybody, right? And so when you go to a bigger city, of course, you know, you can get lost. And so I must have been behind you when I seen a congregation of our young tamariki, and it was really sad to see. And I knew something had gone down, but I didn't know what. But as we were going along, my grandson was sitting next to me in the passenger side, and he said to me, "Oh, Nan, I wish I could walk uptown with my friends." And I said, "How no?" And, you know, I turned into, you know, I went from a nice tone to a really not so pleasing tone. And I didn't realize I was talking like this to my grandson until after. But I was the purpose of me talking to him like that is I was very clear around the fact that he will not be walking into town. He would not be, I wouldn't even drop him off to play at the skate park or any park without me being there monitoring him because of all the other incidents that have happened. And we know these are facts because they've been in the Opotiki news, they've been on the social media, a lot of fighting going on. You know, there's this group and that group, and, you know, the world has changed where, you know, you get into your groups or your little communities and whatever culture you've created, everybody just wants to fight one another. And I just don't want them to get hurt. So I have to lock them up in these 4 walls. But I could walk from the Otara, where my family live on a farm, which is probably another 7 to 10 Ks. And we used to walk from there even, because it was safe enough to walk on the roads, into town, could walk around up the hospital hill and no problem. Go to the picture theatre, get left behind because your koro's gone to sleep and he's forgotten about you. And the only thing we used to be scared of was the cemetery. Now, I'd rather walk past the dead than walk past the living, you see? And so that concept has changed. All of us used to run past the cemetery being scared of the people that were no longer living, but that's changed. The cemetery is the least of my problems now, walking past that place in the dark. But we weren't as scared. It's certainly changed. And the community needs to take action. They need to be more responsible. Just this morning, going to Ashbrook, dropping off my grandson, as I come out, we're talking about motorbikes now. You know, and people that know people that are doing this or their children are doing this have always got justification around it. You know, you're always moaning. People are always moaning on this page. I don't understand why people are on the Opotiki community page if they think it's a moaning page. I probably would start deleting them off soon, because if that's what they think it is, then they no longer have a place to be there. Because the reality is it is a place to put notices of concerns or notices up, right? And what's happening. And what happened is that he's on the footpath and he's zooming. And it was just fortunate that there was no kids going into that vicinity or a parent. But that's not a road. That's not a road that you could be going through. Now, this is for children. And I doubt if the parent of that boy who was doing that this morning wouldn't like it if I did that up their driveway and compromise their kids' safety. It's easy, you know, I could get on a bike, can't drive, can't ride, but I'll easily get on one just to show them how dangerous it is. You know, so why would they do that to other children? Why would they allow their child to compromise other children's safety and other people's safety? It's not right. So, yeah.
And both those issues are community issues.
I reported it today.
Yeah.
I hope they know that. And here I am saying I reported that. I had to, because I'm responsible, a board chair of that school, but also responsible to report dangerous driving, you know, for our kids.
Yeah, there were stories back in the, I think it was 60s, I think, you know, kids could go into the houses of their relatives and sit down and have a feed. And, you know, as you say, everyone knew everyone else, but society has changed nowadays. And we experience those issues that you're talking about, especially methamphetamine use. But that tends to then flow on to bikes with kids on with no helmets and behavior stuff. So again, this how do you approach it? Multi-pronged approach, community, from getting kaumātua involved to Māori wardens and the police, and how do you get the community involved in local initiatives? I guess that's what the expertise of Whakaatu Whananga and the Trust Board are about, connecting with those communities to make sure that messages are received.
Well, they used to do March for domestic violence, and I think they certainly probably need to look at local issues and marching for that. And we need to get a percentage of our people onto that, because it's not okay. And I want to tell that young man that it's not cool. He might think it's cool, but it's not, because when he hurts somebody, it's not going to be cool. Not for him, his parents. It's going to have an impact and effect, not just for his mum or his dad or his siblings, but for his queer and his kaumātua. You know, that changes the whole whakapapa history, you know, because it's just not cool at all. I think that all the services need to come together with the community to drive that. A lot of money is coming in for social services. I think we need to probably start talking about that stuff as well, you know, making not so much services accountable, but just saying, hey, you know, we've got all this money coming in. What is that funding for, and what are we doing about it? I know they're doing an amazing job. To all the social services in Opotiki are doing an amazing job, but I think we need to make all the community. We need a collaborative approach. Work with the district council. Work with the police. Need to see more policing. You know, if that person can drive like that, then I'm thinking, wow, I can do 150 in the middle of town and hopefully not get pulled up for it because this guy isn't.
I saw a bike getting.
Yeah.
I saw a trail bike getting confiscated on John Street today, about 11 o'clock as I was driving down.
Might have been him, eh?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but you know, at the end of the day, it was about compromising children's safety. If it was that young boy, I doubted if I was the only one that reported him today. Yeah.
Has my friend Mike Fletcher appeared in today's Opotiki news, Debbie?
He has.
Oh, yes, he has. Yes, I didn't actually read it. I skipped it.
I did.
You
it
did?
was a full page. It was a full page of the cyclone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really, I thought it was. Well, most of it I read. It was just. I didn't even think much of it, to be honest. Yeah.
Was he for the cyclone or was he against the cyclone? What was his position?
To grab the paper again, because if it doesn't, if I don't like something, if I read something and it doesn't stick with me, then it wasn't worth reading in the first place. So yeah, I mean, he had a lot to say about we prepared, how amazing we were in preparation, how the iwi and that came together. Nothing new, I guess. And his views on it. But like to see Mikey in some voluntary gear, I guess, and out there putting the shovel into the dirt and cleaning up maybe one day. But I got lots to say tonight. Didn't think I did.
So sorry, Debbie, your house didn't get the tap to evacuate on.
No,
Monday.
we didn't. No, but I did have a little drive down Tirahanga Extension Road. I can't think of its proper name. Sorry. And I met a couple who were going to stay up on top of Tirahanga Road, and I offered them a bed for the night, but they chose to sleep in their van up by your place, Ivor.
Oh,
the top
okay.
of the road up there with
hill.
the dogs in the car. So I thought, oh, well, at least I'll have a good view of something. But we're a little bit higher on the sand dunes, so that was. But we were all prepared and had moved animals, and
I had wondered if the mayor's announcement of a state of emergency for the area was a bit premature, but I guess he did the right thing at the right time with the closing off of the roads as well. Just kept people off the roads and out of trouble. And
he did say that he had made that move to get people prepared.
I think
the fear of God into them. It's like, this might happen, so you better be prepared. Yeah.
Well, what I could see too, because you've got to watch the Opotiki community page as well, and you can see the concerns coming through from the community, and that's pretty much, between the two bridges, you're going to have more of those residents in a panic. or just wanting to know, here's their plan. What I saw was a lot of our community had put a plan together, but part of their plan was where are the evacuation
Right.
places that we can go to. And
Mhm.
we all know there's still low lying areas as well. So that's only the level 1 or stage 1.
Yeah.
Anything else, you have to go to a higher level. 2 of those evacuation centres would not have been appropriate enough, but they were enough for to meet that first stage of the emergency evacuation process. I do want to give thanks to Louis, other mate that's not here with us today because he's in a Rūranga hui, but he did a lot of work. He's amazing. You wouldn't even think he's not in council, but he was there. He's the liaison person with our iwi, our leaders, Tāna Apanu and Whakatōhia. He did an amazing job. I like to congratulate our hapu, the hapu that I'm affiliated to in the committee of, Thomas Mita, who's our acting chairman at this time, and our Mitai whānau and the whānau that assisted in terms of the Te Rere Marae. And we had Woodlands as a backup too. It was quiet because it's the next level. It's a higher, it's in a higher area. So it would have been the next part. It would not have been, you didn't need it for this area because you had the college and Kuterere, Kura, Terere, and there were only the areas near the water, So most of those residents, Tirohanga camping ground, as you know, was a bit flooded. There's still residents in Kuterere I'm getting photos for that are a bit flooded. So I think David did amazing calling the state of emergency for Opotiki in preparation. Our people were more, let's face it, the tsunami warning in March last year, it was chaotic, so you had people crossing over that lived on this side of town that should have been coming over this bridge, but they're crossing over and going to Waiweka, so you've got congestion or traffic. So I think they've done an amazing job this time round. Can we do better? We can always do better. But well done to them.
Oh, fantastic!
And McCormick, I forget his name. Sorry,
Gerard.
Yeah, well done to them. It's not easy.
We're just about at the end of our kaupapa, and for the viewers that are viewing, and there are viewers watching, pop in a comment or ask your question. Don't be afraid. Debbie won't bite.
Maud might,
unless you ask. But that's pretty much us. The cyclone, the petition to keep our health services free, that might have been related to the Māori Health Authority and the 3 iwi that are developing the local plan. Might have some connection to that. And safer communities walking the streets. It seems that that's a multi-pronged approach. The police, local community leaders, hapu, iwi, those sorts of things.
I can remember something, Ivor, Debbie, you wanted to bring up Bonnie Collier, something?
Yes, I was looking in the paper and it was just wonderful to see how well she's doing and that she's got an office in town now. And I know I haven't bought or sold a house through her, but I kind of see how she operates, and she's just wonderful. She's a local girl, and she just does it with araha. I just see, and she's always smiling, and I just think I'm really happy for her.
And more local employment too for our, we've got absolutely. 2 local girls there as well with her.
That's right. Yep. I think it's wonderful. Really wonderful. And congratulations to her if she's listening by any chance. And may she sell me a house one day or buy one off me. But I was disappointed to see, and I knew it was coming, but I'm disappointed to see the Opotiki News has pulled out of Opotiki. And I know they said in the paper that they will have someone here 3 days a week. But for me, it's if you're living local, you are being local. And maybe it's time for an independent paper in Opotiki. Maybe.
Got enough talent?
Yeah. We have, definitely. Yep. Yeah, no, that's a shame.
Okay.
And 2 of our local people have left, so they're, you know, they may have been leaving anyway for other reasons. 2 less with employment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, ladies, for dialing in and talking about that kaupapa tonight, which was Cyclone Gabrielle, a petition to keep our health services free and the community safety, generally walking the streets of Opotiki and how it's changed over the years and what we might be able to do, and those other little bits and pieces as well. So thank you, everyone, for just tuning in and having a listen. With that, I'll zip us up.
Could I just, sorry.
Go ahead, Debbie.
Could I just say we'll see them again next Tuesday at 8 o'clock?
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay.
Tune in next Thursday.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Kia tau tātou katoa te atawhau tō tātou araki ai hukraiti me te aroha o te atua me te whiwhinga tahitanga ki te wairua tapu. Ake, āmene.
Āmene.
Good night, everyone.
Poor Maria.
Poor Maria.
Good night.